following podcast is being brought to you by the Defy Life Podcast Network.
Maybe we can still heal you. Why? So you can just lock me up? No. Just bury me in the ocean with my ancestors that jumped from the ships. Because they knew death was better than bondage.
Oh, you think darkness is your ally? You merely adopted the dark. I was born in it, molded by it. I didn't see the light until I was already a man. By then it was nothing to me but blinding. The shadows betray you because they belong to me.
In the hell do you think you are?
Okay, it's not working out. I'm gonna need the suit back.
For how long?
Forever. Yeah, that's
No, please,
Let's have it.
You don't understand. This is all I have. I'm nothing without this suit.
If you're nothing without this suit, then you shouldn't have it, okay?
So Oz, this week we are going to have an old friend of the show return and talk about another project that he is starting. And this project has a lot of excitement behind it because the funding has just been coming in very fast and very furious. Oz, any comments before we introduce our guest?
Oh, I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to a good chance to catch up on my nap. Yeah. I'm going to be doing some painting. I'm going to be working on the easel while you guys talk about wrestling. It's going to be great. I'm excited to have this person on.
We might not even hit the wrestling talk this time.
No. Every time you all say you're not going to do it, it turns into that. So I'm going to work I'm going to be underwater basket weaving. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
I got news for you, man. Do you know how often I have to talk about wrestling now on podcasts?
How
I'm
often?
on 3 other podcasts talking about wrestling every week.
Wait, so am I hearing JD say that he may be a little burnt out on wrestling?
No, I'm watching it right now, actually, as we do the show. But I have no problem not talking about it tonight.
And as you heard, we have Mr. JD Oliva with us, the man of many hats, author, podcaster, coach, anything you could think of, he's probably done it. JD, welcome back to the show. Introduce yourself, your Kickstarter, any and everything you got going on.
Hey, I'm JD Oliva. This is, I think, my 4th time on the show, maybe 5th.
Might be 5th.
I love coming on here. You guys are definitely my favorite podcast to come on because I enjoy our talk. I enjoy the friendship I have with Scott that basically revolves around busting each other's balls about wrestling.
Yep.
So yeah, man. I just, like Scott said, I'm an author. I just on this past Monday launched a Kickstarter for my book Sundown, which is the 5th entry into my Books of Jericho series, and we asked for $700. Book writing is cheap, so I try to keep the funding goal pretty reasonable, pretty low, and we double funded in 6 days.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, the real goal is I want to get to about $3,000. That'll be my highest ever. So that's where we're shooting. And I announced part of this week. The 6th book is also part of this campaign. So it's pretty fun. So we're out there banging on doors trying to get people to read some action thriller books. So yeah.
So JD, let me ask you the Sundown book, kind of where, without giving too much away, kind of where is this picking up the story at, and where is the story going?
So this book doesn't pick up right after the last one ended. This one takes place probably about 5-6 months after Sundown, at the very beginning of the pandemic. So we've got an Ethan Jericho who's for the first time in a long time happy and healthy, and kind of itching to go back to work. And it's March of 2020. And the world is kind of shut down. and he discovers someone who may or may have sold him out to the FBI is out there, and he goes out to get him, and he's beaten to the punch. Guy's killed by a vampire. So this is my Jericho versus vampire story.
Very nice. Now, how much of this, obviously it probably is, as you said, it's right before the pandemic. How much of this story is inspired by maybe some real life pandemic events you've gone through?
A lot of it, actually. It's like I said, I wanted it to be like, I write about some pretty ridiculous subject matter, quite honestly. Like, it's always like monsters and stuff like that. I say the stories is basically like, what if John Wick worked the X-Files, or John Wick meets Stephen King? That's kind of the way I sell these things. So as many touchstones as I can get to the real world, I take advantage of. And the vampires in this story are actually running like a multi-layered marketing scheme around like health supplements, right? So the pandemic gives me the perfect opportunity for that. And it took me a long time to figure this book out. And when I finally figured it out, I wanted to tie in as many kind of reality-based things as possible. The whole central story is really around the murder of an Instagram model who's killed during a live feed. And we're tying into lots of like, I think pretty topical stuff. And I think using the pandemic as a springboard to that worked well, because people are more especially a year ago, were extremely health conscious. Right. And so we steered into that and tried to make that part of the motivator of part of our villain's motivations of the story.
Well, I do like the aspect of vampires and working the supplemental game, because there are actual vampires who are doing that as we speak.
You're 100% right. And that was my inspiration, because I've done some of those things, especially when you're out of college. Hey, make some money doing this. I'm like, all right, I'll sell electricity. All you do is get 10 people underneath you. So it fit, because it's really, the question is, how do you do vampires different? Like, what can you bring to something that's been done so often, right? How can I make this unique? And that's why it took me a year to figure this book out, is I wanted to bring something new to it. And the idea of doing it like this, like basically, I'll say it, ripping off Advocare, is kind of the inspiration for it. And I wanted to, I figured, because those guys, kind of like I said, those guys actually are vampires. So why not make them real vampires?
Well, you can also refer to Alex Jones and his supplements and his doomsday prepper food too.
Absolutely. Like, that's those are the influences that have gone to this book, and it's a lot of fun. And then we get into the 6th book of the series, which is a completely different story. It's basically X-Men meets The Purge. Jericho has a chance to kind of clear his name from the army, and they say, if you kill your former mentor, we'll clear everything, because he has a weapon of he's procured a weapon of mass destruction. So Jericho reluctantly takes the job. He figured if someone's going to take out his old mentor, it better be him. And when he gets there, he finds out the weapon is actually a 5-year-old child, basically has mutant gifts. And so then he runs into an ethical dilemma, and then he finds out that a bunch of these people, these mutants, for lack of a better term, but like government designed mutants, are after this kid themselves. So they do it in like Purge style masks as opposed to like superhero masks. So we steer into the superhero stuff and the horror aspect of it. So I kind of like to sell that one as X-Men meets The Purge.
Oh, that's awesome! I love that. That actually kind of ties into the Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Ooh, and I'm interested. I haven't seen it yet. I'm going to watch it tomorrow, because, like I said, regular Scott and I record for Vover.
Yeah, shout out to the Vover feed as well. JD, sticking with kind of inspirations for your writing, when you do write stories, especially when you're coming up with a new story, how important is it for you to tie real life events into it? Or is it more important just to make a story and kind of move the pieces how you need to? Or do you think it is something that people relate to more when you tie real life events into it?
I think people do relate to things when you tie real life events into it. I don't think about doing it consciously, but I just take advantage of opportunities when they're there. Because I try to focus on I try to focus on character stuff, but I'm really more of a plot based guy. Like, I'll get an idea for a story, and then I got to figure out how the characters in that story interact. And it's just, when you're just looking at the world around you, it's easy to do, right? Like, when I came up with this vampire story, I didn't think to myself, well, I need to work the pandemic into it. But it just kind of, the first line of the book is, the pandemic is bad for business. It just made sense, right? So I don't try to do those things; they just kind of come out. I mean, I think the more I can kind of ground stuff into reality, quite frankly, easier it is for me to write it.
Okay. We like to talk about food here, especially before we set the table. JD, what would you say Ethan Jericho's top 3 favorite foods are?
So I never thought about this before. He is getting on in years, and he is extremely diet conscious. So day to day, he's like very high protein, low carbohydrate. So we're talking, lean fish or lean meats, chicken, that kind of stuff. So he would probably do a homemade hibachi stir fry.
Oh,
that'd probably be his go-to. On the road, he's probably a Chipotle guy because he can manage everything, have the right amount of rice if he needs it. Otherwise he stick with that cauliflower stuff. So that would probably be number one. And when we're going for an all-out splurge, I could see him doing some pizza.
Yeah, but does he eat cookies though? Is he like a sweet kind of dude?
No, I worked that into the book that he is the books that he is not, and it's like a thing with him.
Okay, that's a good question. I was wondering if he's like a shake and a sweets kind of dude.
He is a nitro cold brew guy for coffee. That is his deal.
Okay, is he a drinker?
No. Has a very samurai outlook on these things, and super disciplined.
Well, along those lines of being disciplined, is he a walk up and order dude, or is he a mobile order dude?
Walk up and order.
Okay.
Likes to read people. Right?
Okay.
What he'll do is, he enjoys going to like a Starbucks or a coffee house and making up a name, because Ethan Jericho is the name of the character, but that is not his name, right? And it's part of a running gag I have in the series as well. I'll just make whatever name I could come up with for it, and I'll usually use something wrestling inspired. Like I'll try to be as obscure as I can with names. Or like in the last one, he was calling himself Damien Thorne, which is of course the lead character from The Omen, right? It's just that's something he'll do. But he's very like guarded, but he enjoys interacting with people to get reads on them more than anything.
Okay.
Another question. He seems like he's got a very strict diet, and he sticks to a very strict regimen. Is he somebody who would be able to train Oz's body and mind?
No, because he doesn't like working with other people.
Yeah, but could I like do in true mentor style, like watch him doing his workout in the park, but being like 20 feet away, just like mimicking his moves.
You
and
could.
and always every day doing that, and he's like, oh, that's the dude who does it. Okay.
You could, because we write in Nightcrawler, the third book, I talk about how he's jogging. He likes to run the Lakeshore Trail on Lake Michigan in Chicago, and then he'll knock out his burpees and free squats and stuff like that. So I mean, he's a guy who will train. Actually, weight training and stuff like that becomes a big, not a big, but it becomes a plot point to the Sundown story.
Yeah, I like to imagine myself at Starbucks, like buying him his nitro, and he's like, "Who are you?" And I'm like, "Sensei."
Sensei.
And he would play along with that. He does enjoy the interaction of people, but not too much, because everything is kind of like is a lie upon a lie. So he's kind of built himself this whole like web of deceit that basically holds on by a shoestring, and that's about to start collapsing around him.
Oh, we get along great.
We get along great. Oh man! All right.
It'd be like a scene from The Highlander. I'd meet Ethan, and I'd be like, "Ethan, we are brothers."
Alice, how many people do you think listen to this show have seen that scene in Highlander?
I would probably, if you have seen The Highlander, please just hit me on my DM.
I have seen The Highlander.
Hit me on my DM.
Hey, Regular Scott, do you know how Highlander starts?
Oh, thank you, JD.
I remember the song, I Am the Chosen One.
No, that's not the song.
It's not the song. The song is Princess of the Universe from Queen, first
of all.
Thank you. Second of all, it takes place at Madison Square Garden during a wrestling event.
Hit him, JD. Hit him.
It's the Fabulous Freebirds.
Oh wow!
And they're
I did not know
actually
that.
in the movie.
And the reason why that's done like that, not because it was popular during that time, but it was to say that this is the clash of titans.
Yes.
You know?
Yes, and then they have a sword fight to the death in the parking garage of Madison Square Garden, which I don't. Yeah, that's the thing. So yeah, it's a great opening sequence to the movie because you see old Michael P.S. Hayes doing his thing on the ropes, and
Yep.
Terry Gordy, and they're cutting back and forth to this epic sword fight. It's quite a good movie, Scott. I recommend it if you can get over a Scotsman playing if you can get over a Scotsman playing a Spaniard who's actually an Egyptian and a Frenchman playing a Scotsman. It's pretty good.
You can barely understand what Christopher Lambert's saying at any given moment. But my God, it's so. Clancy Brown is in there, and Clancy Brown is just, oh man, the best. One of the best scenes is this lady of the evening walks into Clancy Brown, the Kurgan's room, and she goes, "Hi, I'm Candy," and he looks at her and goes, "Of course you are."
So I love Highlander, right? My wife,
I do. It's my thing.
My wife reads the Outlander books, and she watches the Outlander TV show, and it's about a time traveling Scotsman, but it's like a romance story. It's not a bad TV show.
JD,
more than
my wife watched the same thing too.
Yeah, but my big issue with the show, and it's not Highlander, right? It's like kind of close. Like if you were just to briefly describe both, you could kind of be like, oh, okay, it's kind of the same, but it isn't. I just like it's violent, but not near heads flying off violent.
Well, people are like, oh, Highlander, is that like it's a sword fighting fantasy? I'm like, no, it's science fiction time travel actually.
Super science fiction-y. Then you get into part 2 and nothing makes sense. So I'd avoid part 2.
Part 2, it was out of the continuity. But then from there, you get the Highlander TV show.
Which is not bad.
Dude, Duncan MacLeod, Adrian Paul, come on, man. And then you get 3 out of that, and they're working on another Highlander movie too, by the way.
That is a movie that I think could stand a remake, to be honest with you.
It needs a remake.
Yeah, I think there's a better way to present it to a modern audience, because it's super dated. Don't get me wrong. It's fun, but it's like 80s fun. Like, if you could make that movie now with some modern special effects, maybe some better writing, like, you could have something special. And it's not like, we're not talking like Back to the Future or something like that. Something that's like largely considered a classic. Like this is a B movie, like guilty pleasure classic. Like it could absolutely be remade.
I think it deserves like a retelling, because there's so many different ways to get to the point of how you can take someone's head or do something like that. But there's also the rules are still that apply, that you can't. There's no fighting on holy ground, And but I would love for them to focus more and be like, no, you really cannot fight, because something so say they're like in a parking lot and they're like, we can't fight because, oh no, that's an ancient African burial ground. There's some conceptual stuff that could really be played out with that too.
Absolutely. If you have some modern special effects, a good budget, and some imagination, you could really have something with a Highlander remake. Hey, we just isolated Scott out of the show.
My goal today is to do that in different segments.
And I think it should be applauded that it was also done starting off with wrestling.
Yes.
That's true.
So Oz, you get not only bonus points, but you get the first Morgan Freeman of the day.
Shoot this motherfucker!
So there's that. All right.
Somebody shoot this.
But before we are way too deep into things.
Yeah.
Let me start fixing up and cleaning up the table. This is Taking Knee for Marvel vs. DC. I am your host, Regular Scott. I am here with my co-host, the comic connoisseur, the mighty Ozzy Killmonger. Oz, what's going on?
What is up, my comic comrades?
You can find us on Twitter at Knee4Marvel vs. DC. That's the number 4. You can email us, Knee4Marvel vs. DC at GoDefyLife.com. You can leave us a voicemail. We actually have another voicemail, 804-518-6631. We have a couple listener questions as well. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Join our Facebook group. JD, tell everyone where they can find you, all the different podcasts you do, and make sure you plug your Kickstarter again.
JD Oliva. Best place to find me is on Twitter at JD_Oliva, Oliva. I'm a writer and contributor for Fight Game Media. That's my number one right now. I co-host 2 different podcasts there. The Brace for Impact podcast, talk about Impact Wrestling. We do High Tension with my buddy Justin Nipper, where we talk about what's going on in Japan. I write a lot about mostly Japanese wrestling and then amateur wrestling as well. And I also write for WrestleJoy. I do like retrospective pieces talking about, yesteryear in wrestling. I just did a thing that got published yesterday from them about how Bozo the Clown kind of, and how he intersects with Chicago wrestling. I'm a Chicago guy, and I kind of talk about how Chicago missed its chance at being part of the big territorial scene in the 1960s, but we had Bozo. So I did some weird stuff, but I'm actually really proud of that article. And one more time, we're pushing the Kickstarter for Sundown, the 5th entry into the Books of Jericho. I know, Mac, listen to JD, I haven't read any of your books. Why would I jump onto your Kickstarter? Well, I'm going to say, well, dude, come on, check it out. You can get the Book of Jericho, the original book, for only $1. So come check it out that way. You can buy every single one of my books. They're all available in nice bundle series. You can get ebooks, which are pretty cheap. $5. You can get the paperback, $25 for both Sundown and the Book of Warlock, the book number 6. And I'm going to announce this right now. Next week, we're going to announce hardcover books. I've never printed a hardcover book before. Amazon said, would you like to take part in our beta program for printing hardcovers? And I said, yes, I would. I am just coincidentally running something that would be really cool with this. So I'm going to be able to have my first ever hardcover books of this printed. You can get any of the books you want. You can get Harvest Moon, the prequel to the Book of Jericho, this awesome werewolf story that launched it all. So, all of my work is pretty much available in this Kickstarter. Right now, we're hanging out around $1,500. We were only asking for $7,000, trying to get that thing up to $3,000 before the campaign ends in 2 weeks. And, I like writing scary books that also have a lot of action in them. Like, these aren't just like slasher horror things. Like, this is basically, like, I like to refer to it as action horror. Like, what if John Wick worked the X-Files? That kind of stuff.
There you go. And there's a reason that the Kickstarter has just boomed like it has. So definitely support him. Let's support support the creators, man. They're, that are creating original content. And this is something that I would hop on the bandwagon early, because once it gets rolling, there's not going to be no room for you. You know what I mean? You got to get on the bandwagon earlier. When you try to get on, ain't going to be no room for you. Yeah. That's real talk, though.
No room in the wagon.
Yeah, no room in the wagon. Before we get to our listener question,
hey, don't you want to tell the good people where they can find me on Twitter?
I guess.
although I check it once a month, I thought this would be a perfect opportunity for you to to
try to help you out, try to promote your Twitter, get you to those 50 followers. Well, Oz, the thing is, there's only like 6 days left in the month, and I've already seen you on Twitter already once this month, so I just wasn't expecting you to check it next week.
I like to mix it up a little bit. So everybody, you can find me at Ozzy Real, and looking forward to having up to 8.
Oh, hey, JD, do you follow Oz?
I do.
Oh,
I was shocked when I got a follow from him probably last year sometime. I went, all right, Ozzy. Follow right back. Never heard another word from him.
Well, I did get a friend request from from Blonde Taking Cock.
What?
Yeah, she says it's a hot, sexy blonde. I love to have fun when the lights go out.
What are you on,
the
AOL?
Camera starts rolling. No.
Yeah, what are you on, AOL?
This is really nice. So I think I'm going to accept that.
Sounds like an AOL spam mail.
Dude, this is like a Friendster request.
Friendster. Like I was going to say,
me and Tom want to be your friend.
before I got interrupted by Uncle Oz's throwback collections he wanted to talk about.
Because I ain't no throwback girl.
I saw a very interesting picture that was posted not only to the Take a Knee Facebook group, but it was also posted to the Nerd Cantina Facebook group. It seems that Ken, the winner of our Character Madness tournament 2021 with the Nerd Cantina and Dean Winchester, has received his his spoils, and he got a nice coffee mug, and he was sipping right out of it, and he made sure to let us know that he was enjoying that coffee out of a take and eat mug.
Drinking that delicious Dean coffee.
Just rubbing it in our face. We got to deal with this for a year. JD, why couldn't you win?
I tried. I gave you Superman.
Yeah, that's true. You did. That's a pretty big pick. Yeah, that's a pretty. Oz, why didn't you win?
There's lots of reasons why I didn't win. Because you know what? Personally, I'll tell you one of the biggest reasons is simply, it's not important to win. It's important to be there. This is
exactly why you don't be winning.
Well,
this is the exact attitude why you don't be winning.
That's a little league attitude, right?
Yeah, that's a participation trophy attitude.
No, we see. So here it is. If you find yourself, as Mace Windu said, if you find yourself losing at the game, you might want to try a different game.
Yeah, and this is the guy.
Mace Windu said that?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, even if he did say that, this is the guy who got thrown out the window. So I'm not taking advice from him either. He lost.
That's true.
He lost the game.
He wasn't thrown out the window. He was forced out the window.
However you want to look at it, this guy was flying out the window, and he wasn't flying.
But who's to say he's dead or not?
Okay, well, he lost. We can say that.
If he's not dead, he's been lying low for the last 30 years when the rebels really needed him.
No, and I totally understand and respect and love both you gentlemen's thoughts on this, but it's just like I understand the Ricky Bobby approach to life, which is good, I think, for some people. But there's a different way. There's a different way.
All right. Well, while you,
I'm more of a Sam Wilson approach to life.
Fair enough.
Don't be trying to wiggle Sam into this. So don't be trying to wiggle Sam into this to make him your shield. Okay.
No, dude, I ain't wiggling nothing. I'm letting man. Right. As Isaiah said, he's special.
Okay.
That boy's special.
Hey, peep this though. Both of them are winners. They won. They didn't lose.
Would you really say Mr. Bradley was a winner?
I would say he was a winner because he survived.
He survived. So see, that's the thing.
He survived.
See, it's not about being number one. It's about hanging in the game. What's the old one of the old quotes in life is a quote that my mom loves to say. Shout
out to Grandma.
Hey, shout out to the good chaplain Reverend Tucker.
Yeah, shout out to Grandma.
She's infamous for saying the race isn't held out to the swiftest. The race is given to the person who perseveres and holds out to the longest.
Amen.
So.
All right, Oz. Before we start getting a little sort of taking the church too much, let's get to our listener question.
Well, real quick now.
So
between you and JD, have you both ever had turtle soup?
Nope.
Or tried rabbit?
Nope.
Yes. So I used to go when I was working in New Orleans, right? I made an independent film in New Orleans, 2008. We took 3 or 4 trips out there, and we used to go to this bar called Coop's. I'll never forget this. They had rabbit jambalaya, and it's just and I got the rabbit jambalaya every time I went because it was freaking incredible. It was
really good.
It was so good. Turtle soup I've never done, but rabbit I've had rabbit.
Did he serve it with any sort of bread or anything, or was it just straight up here's your soup and your beer?
It was pretty much just here's your soup and your beer.
Wow. Okay. Damn, that sounds delicious.
It was delicious. It was that good jambalaya, so it was super super thick with the bacon and the sausage. Woo! Some andouille sausage with the rabbit. Man, I want to go back.
Did it have a little bit of a spicy kick to it?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Those Creole spices, man. Yeah, I tell you what. If you want you want to go on a vacation just to eat, New Orleans is a good place to go. You gain 50 pounds, but I mean,
that place is amazing. I had a shoot there for 3 days, and I mean, drinking's fine, but the food there is just incredible.
It's so good. Like you can go like all the fancy places, the Emerald restaurants cost a lot of money, but you can find these little dive spots. Like this was just a dumpy bar on Frenchman Street that was great, and we found some like real good places, just like kind of off the beaten path. 'Cause that's where you really find good food.
Hey JD,
Right.
did you ever try what's it called, Port of Call for a burger?
No.
I think there's a place called Port of Call, and someone was like, "Oh, you can have the most amazing burger there." So, and by the way, JD boxed this dude out twice.
I saw. I was wondering if he would say something.
You know, I don't really have an opinion about turtle soup or eating rabbits. The only thing I know about rabbits is I used to collect their feet because they were supposed to be good luck, but I never got the good luck when I had them, so I threw them away.
Rabbit.
Hold on, it's not good luck for the rabbit.
Well, it wasn't good luck for me either. Let's get to our first listener question. This one is from Evan the Great, a good friend of the show from the Crossover Collision podcast, and they've done a couple Mortal Kombat characters to signify the to celebrate the Mortal Kombat movie coming out.
Ugh.
So Evan the Great has asked, if you had superpowers that only worked when you guys fused together, what powers would you have? What would be your name? Who would be the voice? And who would be the body?
Oh, so sort of like on some Firestorm kind of tip.
Yeah, so a couple things. We can go ahead and clear a couple of the obvious ones out the way. We're definitely taking my body. We're definitely taking my voice. And and let's see, what else did he ask? My body, voice, my name.
Hold on. So regular Scott, you literally just said, so we're gonna take my body, my voice, my name, my brain.
No, I was gonna give you the brain. You're a smart guy. I was gonna give you the brain. But we gonna have my body though.
For me, I would flip it and be like, I ain't give it. You don't get. Let's see. No body, no brain. That's a hard one. I would probably. You know what I would do? I would do the body of Dean Winchester.
That's not an option.
What? Why is that? What, the body of Dean Winchester with the brain of
where does Dean Winchester come into the fusion of me and you?
Oh man, it's gotta be me and you.
We're not just fusing with anybody.
Okay, so
because if that's the case, then I'm fusing with The Rock.
Can't lose that way.
I'm fusing with The Rock.
I'm fusing with John Cena, dude.
You can have John Cena. That's like my that's like the Wish version of me.
Dude.
I mean, I like Cena. Shout out to John Cena, but you're not The Rock.
Oh, dude, Dwayne is me.
Yeah, okay. Hey, JD, if you could fuse with somebody, who would you fuse with?
We're picking anybody, right?
Anybody.
Randy Savage, circa 1989.
Wow.
Ooh.
Oh, what? Oh, what, Oz?
Ooh, baby. You gotta
that is not what he said.
Man, Randy Savage.
No. A for effort.
Yeah, the voice wasn't bad, but definitely not the right thing.
It's the Macho Man, Randy Savage. That dude. What was his wife's name?
Miss Elizabeth.
Miss Elizabeth. Shout out to Young Rock, by the way. It's been a very good.
You've been on the Young Rock. I will give. You've been on Young Rock.
It's been an enjoyable episode. It's been very nostalgic for me.
Is this how Rock preps people for his presidential campaign? Is that what this whole thing is? I am convinced this is a social experiment to warm people up to the fact to when he actually decides to run for president.
Dude, I'm like, go for it. Well, see, I think he'd run for like probably a Senate seat.
I don't know. I can't see The Rock wanting to be a senator, right? He's never been that guy.
You know.
Yeah, I guess if he's going in, he's going for the Grand Slam. He's not going for a single. He's going for the Grand Slam.
He don't want the Intercontinental title.
Yeah, I'll just mess around. The Rock is just like, I'm just trying to make some money, dude, and chill.
He's made some money. He has made some money. I'll tell you that.
He's made a little bit of coin,
Yes.
as they say.
Oz, back to me and you fusing with my body and my voice. What power would we have besides the gift of gab? If we can call it that. We would have the gift of rant.
Yeah, our powers would be that we would rant so much that the criminals would just be so tired they'd fall asleep.
Okay. That almost put me to sleep. And what about our name? This is going to be bad. No, we'll just go regular Oz. I think that's
thinking the same thing.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty simple, straightforward name, regular Oz.
Or Uncle Scott.
Not as good.
Really, the most generic, regular, silly.
Uncle Scott sounds like some pancakes or something, like a Waffle House.
I don't know how they got 40 hostages. We need help right now. Call Uncle Scott.
He'll tell them a story about how things were back in the day.
Hey, so Batman's got a bad signal. What kind of signal does Uncle Scott have?
That's actually a good question. What would the Uncle Scott signal be? It's got to be like a cane.
Power to harass teenagers when they're trying to cross the street and have a good time.
It's got to be like a cane or something.
You shouldn't be doing that, Sonny.
All right. That's enough of that.
Uncle Scott's powers would be time travel, but only time travel would just be his ranting. Back in my day.
You deserve another Morgan Freeman for that one. How about that? You get another Morgan Freeman.
Motherfucker.
Some Grandpa Simpson.
All right, we got a question on Twitter this time. This one is from Ethereal Sandwich at Strandwich. Yes, yep, I got that one right. Yeah, the tongue twister right there. They say at Knee from Marvelverse DC. Only been listening a short time, but love the show. Noticing there's a lot of love for Mr. Terrific, but none from my boy Ozymandias. So I gotta ask, head to head, who would win in a battle of the brains? # battle of the brains. JD, I'll start with you. Mr. Terrific versus Ozzy. Who wins?
I have thoughts on this. I go Mr. Terrific.
And explain why.
Mr. Terrific, like I got to give it to Ozymandias is a genius, but he's also sociopathic and crazy. Mm-hmm. And as we learned in the Watchmen TV series, gets beaten. Right? He is brought down by his arrogance, which trumps his intelligence. Whereas Mr. Terrific is the third smartest man in the world, but doesn't brag about being the third smartest man in the world, and works well within a team situation, right? So I think that the humbleness that Mr. Terrific, even though he calls himself Mr. Terrific, he is humble, would help bring down one Ozymandias.
Yeah, although he used to rock a jacket that had his name on it too, and fair play, but see, the thing about Ozzy is what always got to me was just like he's really super intelligent, but then a custodian got a hold of his sperm.
It's true.
And
his grand plan was something he stole from an Outer Limits episode, so maybe that intelligence is a little overrated.
Yeah. I would love to give Ozzy some props, but I just feel like Mr. Terrific just gets he still gets underrated to me.
Mr. Terrific? Absolutely.
Yeah.
He's easily probably the most underrated superhero in the whole DC universe.
And here's the thing for you. Why haven't they ever did a team up between Mr. Terrific and Cyborg?
Oh, I can tell you why. It's because of the Arrowverse.
What?
You don't remember Mr. Terrific from Arrow?
Yeah, he was horrible.
Oh, he's the worst. That's why we haven't got another Mr. Terrific.
Yeah, but I'm saying in the comic books.
You're talking about comics.
The Arrowverse doesn't even exist to me.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah. So you never see a Cyborg and Mr. Terrific. Cyborg controls all infrastructure with the web and everything, and Mr. Terrific is the third smartest person. Okay, so I'm not saying conspiracies, but just saying.
Okay. Good question. And we got some very good answers as well. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We're going to come back, play our voicemail that we had from our good friend Phil, and then we're going to see where the wind takes us and see what happens next. Okay.
We're going to see where the wind takes us.
Oh, yeah, we'll be right back.
Hello, I'm Anthony.
And I'm Dr. Issues.
And we're hosts of Capes on the Couch, the podcast where comics get counseling.
Superheroes don't always get to go home happy. That's where we come in.
We offer psychiatric and mental health analysis of comic book characters.
So check us out at capesonthecouch.live and across all social media platforms at Capes on the Couch.
And we are back. Make sure you are checking out Capes on the Couch, where your favorite comic book characters get their counseling. Oz, you might need to take a seat on the couch as well. that wasn't nice. I'm sorry. That wasn't nice. I don't know what.
That was like straight up shots fired for no reason whatsoever.
I don't know what came into me. All right. We have a voicemail this week from our good friend Philip, and Oz. I think he might even have some things for you. We'll see. We'll see what he's got for you this week.
Okay, this is Phil. I figured I would ask as far as the regular thought and the Killmonger conversation, and because you have JVD there, my question would be, if you were to make an Avengers team and a Justice League team, which wrestlers would you fill each slot for the Avengers and for the Justice League? I want to see what y'all say. All right, you have a good day. Peace and chicken grease.
I love it. That makes me happy.
Yeah, that's great. And I would also there was also a companion part for it as well. He wanted me to say that he's sorry for stealing your line, Oz, and if you're nice, you might get another Morgan Freeman. But if you misbehave, you're going to get an MGK. So,
Phil, please feel free to spread the word and steal that as much as you like, sir. Well earned.
This should be I know Jimmy Fly Snooker's going to be on Oz's team for sure. I don't know which he's going to be, an Avenger or the Justice League, but he's going to be on there for sure.
Well, apparently he has to be some murdering rampaging superhero. he has to be like the Henry Pym so he's got to be Avenger then.
He's on like The Boys.
Oh yeah,
he's a boy.
All right, so I guess we can just ping pong it. We'll each go one and go down the line. JD, let's start with you. What wrestler would you add to your Avengers team?
Okay, so you got to think about this, the difference between the Avengers and the Justice League, right? The Avengers are your heavy hitters in the Marvel Universe, but your Justice League are your pinnacle, right? They're the biggest of the big. They're the gods among Earth. So that should so your Justice League and your Avengers have to be a little bit different because they aren't like apples to apples, right? So if I'm thinking Avengers, you need someone modern day, someone important, someone who gets attention. So number one would be John Moxley for my Avengers team.
Okay. Oz, where are you going with the wrestlers for your Avengers team?
Man, I feel like The Rock would probably be like on the Justice League. And then I feel like Stone Cold Steve Austin would be an Avenger.
That works for me. It works.
Okay. For my Avengers, I'm going to always start with my leader, my Captain America, I would say, of the team. I'm going with John Cena.
I like it.
Yeah.
JD, where are we going next?
Let's go with the Justice League. So if the Justice League, you're going to go the whole Justice League, you're going to go Avengers. How do you want to do this?
Oz?
Ping ponging.
What do you want to do?
You're the guest, JD. You do your thing. What makes you happy?
Oh, let's do a Justice League guy. My first Justice League member would be the legendary Bruno Sammartino. He's like
Classic.
the Superman of WWE, whatever.
Oz, where are you going with your Justice League?
I'm trying to think. I feel like Andre the Giant would be a Justice League member.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that's a good call.
Okay. Andre the Giant. I see you hanging, Oz. I see you. Hey, I see you hanging in there.
It's impressive.
Yeah, okay.
JD Regular Scott, I'm trying.
Well, I got a retweet from Oz too during the breaks. I mean, like, he's on Twitter. He's participating in the conversation. We're getting Oz out of his comfort zone this week. This is positive.
Hey, only for JD, I am training my mind and my body for this episode.
This is progression.
I appreciate you.
This dude went and retweeted on during the commercial break. All right, training never stops. Apparently, for my Justice League, man, I'm actually gonna go to the ladies' side, and I'm gonna go with again somebody who's modern, but somebody who demands respect anywhere she goes. I'm going with Sasha Banks.
I like it. I like that. That's a good call.
JD, where to next?
Let's do the Avengers. Let's ping on this a little bit. So my next Avenger, I had Mox as my first, so I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to go outside the box a little bit, and I'm going to say for my second, I'm going to go to the world of Japan, and I'm going to take Kazuchika. Okay, no, scratch that. Hiroshi Tanahashi.
Okay. I like it. I like it. The ace.
Yes. Because every Avengers team needs an ace.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oz, can't wait to hear this one. I know you're running out of names. Who you got for your Avengers team?
In respect for the ladies, and definitely an Avenger and not a Justice League member, I'm going to go with China.
Okay.
That works.
Okay. I love it.
You like it, don't you?
Yeah, I do like it. I like it a lot. So for my Avengers team, you need the Avengers are a little bit lighthearted, a little bit more lighthearted, I would say, than the Justice League. You need them to be a little bit more versatile. They need to be able to crack the jokes. They need to be able to get real serious real quick. I also need some size. I need a big guy. So let me go with the Big Show.
So let's look back into the Avengers right now. Right? Because we just did Justice. We just did Avengers. I lost track of my own games, guys.
We just did Avengers.
So it's Justice League. Yeah, okay. So Justice League, I got my Superman. I think I need my Batman now. I need a bigger guy, strong, a little bit rough around the edges. I got Bruiser Brody.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with Bruiser Brody. And you get a little size.
You get a little size. You get a little unpredictability. You get a legit madman.
I like that.
Okay.
Oz, where are you going for your Justice League?
For a Justice League member, I think I'm going to have to do a pinnacle person for the Justice League. I believe I'll do a good let's do Triple H.
Okay. That's
good
not
call.
bad. The game.
Yeah.
The game. I like that. I actually agree with JD. I need my Batman for my Justice League. I need somebody who's going to do the dirty work, who's not afraid to, get a little dirty and fight dirty and get grimy with it. So I'm going with the dirtiest player in the game, Ric Flair.
Ooh, that's a good call.
That's not bad. I like that one.
That's a really good call. All right, so now we're back to the Avengers.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes, I'm ready.
So I'm building myself a nice little world team, right? I got my American, got my Japanese guy. Now I'm going into Mexico. And who I think is probably the best luchador right now going, this might surprise Rick Scott that I said this, but I'm standing by it, Bandito.
Oh, I am surprised by that.
Bandito.
I figured it might have been a Lucha brother.
Yeah, that was probably I get that is my brand, but I went with Bandito's been impressing me so much with volunteering at these COVID clinics that he really strikes me as a good person, right? So I'm gonna go Bandito.
Okay. Oz, where are you going?
Only reason I'm picking this person just because I feel like he has a bit of a bullseye flavor to him. I'm going to go with Mr. Perfect.
I like that. Mr. Perfect. Can't ever go wrong with Mr. Perfect. Sticking with the Avengers, I think I am going to go ahead and head overseas, and I need somebody who can be my Spider-Man of the team, and he can do anything you ask of him to. I'm going to go Will Ospreay.
Oh, it's a good call. It's a real good call. So now we're back to the Justice League. I'm sticking with overseas, and I'm going to go with probably the most famous Japanese wrestler to spend time in the U.S. I'm going to go with the Great Muta.
The Great Muta.
Oz, you know about the Great Muta?
No, I just like the name.
Oh. It's an awesome name.
He wrestled during when you used to watch, so that's why I asked.
Oh well, I probably enjoyed some of his antics.
To be fair, there's no use to with the Great Muta. Keiji Muto is currently the Pro Wrestling Noah World Heavyweight Champion at 58 years old.
That is true.
So he got no knees, and the man can barely walk, but he's a major level world champion. So I'll leave that alone.
Props to that.
At one time, he was my all-time favorite wrestler. So.
No, okay. Wait, Andy? Okay.
Okay.
See?
Where are you going?
Still in the game. Justice League?
Yeah.
A Pinnacle Justice League member. Oof. That's okay. All right, hold on. Let me. As much as I hate to say it, and he can be a bad guy if he has to, but I'm gonna go with Hulk Hogan.
Didn't you pick Hulk?
No, you didn't pick Hulk.
Oh, okay.
Nope.
All right.
He is a iconic Pinnacle person. I know he's
absolutely
had his ways, but yes.
Rotten
Absolutely.
human being, but it would
Totally rotten person.
It would make the team interesting to have a completely selfish, morally ambiguous human being on the team. So,
yes, he would
backstab you in a heartbeat.
If it was
the Homelander.
Yes, he is Pro Wrestling's Homelander. I'm stealing
he
that.
is the Homelander of Pro Wrestling. Okay.
I see you. Hey, Oz, you've been on it with this wrestling talk here. I am very impressed right now. You have not faded to the background one bit during this conversation.
No, not at all.
I am very. I'm impressed. I love it. For my Justice League, I'm going to go with a guy who right now I think is at the top of the game, and you could argue is the best character in wrestling. I'm going with Roman Reigns.
Knew that was coming at some point.
Yeah, he's got it. He's got to be on one of the squads.
So we're going back to the Avengers. I'm going to go with the ladies this time. I'm an AEW fan, but I'm going to pick someone who not only shows up on Dynamite, but works the NWA, owns her own promotion, and fights mixed martial arts. I'm going with Thunder Rosa.
I didn't know she owned her own promotion.
Yeah, Mission Pro out of Texas. She's quite versatile.
Pretty cool. Yeah, no, that's really cool.
Big fan.
Thunder Rosa.
She's really good. She's really good.
Now, this is Avengers or Justice League?
Avengers.
Ooh, Avengers. Okay. A wrestling Avenger. I would probably. Oh my God! Sorry, I forgot. I feel like he would be a deserving kind of Wolverine with the heart of gold. Hacksaw Jim Duncan.
Yes.
Okay. Is he carrying the 2x4?
Oh, duh.
Dude, Mid-South UWF Duggan was a badass. He wasn't like the clown like WWF had him. Like you're talking like 85, 84 Jim Duggan. That's very Wolverine. I like that call.
Okay. Yeah. You just keep on shocking, huh? You shocking the world today.
Hey, to all our listeners, I'm still here.
For my Avengers team, I need just a straight bruiser. I need somebody who I can just send to about 10 people, and I know he can take them all out. Give me Vader.
Oh, yeah, beautiful.
Ooh,
yeah.
Nice.
Give me Vader. He can pound some people down, and he'll look good doing it.
The greatest big man in history. I'll give you that.
Yeah, I won't even argue about that. He has the match quality to prove it, and he's believable. That's the biggest thing.
Because he actually hurt people.
Yeah.
So yes, that's real. That's real. This dude got his eyeball knocked out in a match legitimately and popped it back in and kept going.
Oof.
But man, I'm gonna tell you what, wrestlers back in the day were just absolutely nuts. But yeah, actually, brutes is probably a better word than nuts, because I feel like maybe the wrestlers now are nuts with the stuff they do, but the wrestlers back then were just like brutes. Yeah, tough men, man's man.
Men, yeah, absolutely. Like I said, the Hanson, the guy who knocked it out, another complete badass, knocks his eyeball out. Vader rips his mask off. You see the eyeball sticking out of his head. And what does he do? He just instinctively reaches up and pushes it back in.
It fit his character, too. It fit his character.
It did. Yeah. It helped make him. I got Vader's stories for days.
The show must go. The show must go on.
So I got Justice League now. I'm going to go with the ladies. I need a Wonder Woman, right? Part of what made Wonder Woman cool in her film is that she was special. She was different. She was unlike anyone else in the world. And I'm going to go with a pick from a dark era of WWE. I'm going to go with a diva that was never quite a diva, Beth Phoenix.
I like that a lot. I'm a big Beth Phoenix fan. I like that
too.
a lot.
She came along at the wrong time, right? If she was around today, imagine the matches she'd be having, like where being an athletic woman is more important, right? She stood out in her era. Today, I think she would be even a bigger player today.
Man, she might be one of the most underrated women that nobody talks about. Because think about, she got good matches out of Kelly's and Eve's, and I know they got better, but she carried a lot of women to passable to good matches. If she could work with some of these women today, like in her prime, especially the powerhouse she was, I agree, man. She would be putting on clinics. She might be the biggest woman star today if she was coming around.
I don't argue with you on that. I think she was the lighthouse in a dark era.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I love that pick. I love that.
Thank you.
Oz, where are you going?
Justice League?
Avengers, right?
Avengers. We're on the Avengers.
Yeah. I think this is our seventh Avenger.
Okay. So if we're going to do Avengers, I'm probably going to have to do... The $1 Million Man.
I like that's your Tony Stark right there.
Yeah, someone's got to bankroll the team.
That's your Tony Stark right there. That's a good call. So everybody's got a price to pay. Everybody's got a price. Okay, so I need a lady for my Marvel team. I was gonna go with, I was stuck on Lita. I was gonna pick Lita. I think she would fit, but Marvel's always been a little bit more progressive than DC. And I know I picked Sasha for my DC team, but I'm going with Bianca Belair for my Marvel squad.
Bianca Belair.
Hey, you're gonna hear her name for the next 10 to 15 years if she wants to in wrestling.
Agreed.
Okay.
Agreed. The only way she doesn't become a big star is if they completely drop the ball.
And there is, as much as I'm a WWE guy, there is a good chance that might happen, unfortunately.
I don't you know how I feel. I don't disagree with you, because she had like, between her and Sasha Banks, they have everything one would need to be a legitimate crossover sensation.
Yes.
My turn?
Yes.
So, Avenger, I need someone fast, right? I need a speedster of sorts. So I'm going to go with one of the most unique mainstream pro wrestlers today, Darby Allin.
Oz, actually, and speaking of Darby, Oz, that's somebody you would instantly latch on to because he's a skater.
Yes.
Oh. Okay, well, I appreciate that. All right. I like it. Let's Darby Allin.
Allin.
Allin. Allin.
Darby Allin. Okay.
Don't be turned off by the face paint. Just check him out.
No.
Yeah.
I'm not turned off by face paint. Yeah, but are we on the Avengers or Justice League?
We are Justice League.
Okay, because I'm not turned off by face paint, because I would have in my Justice League the Ultimate Warrior.
Okay, a lot of energy there. All I got to do is just let him run around a little bit and wear him out. He'll tire himself out.
A lot of cocaine.
So I'm actually going to go a little bit different here with the Justice League. I need somebody to kind of oversee everything, put everybody in the right spots, right positions, and I need sort of a booker. So I'm going to go with Gato.
Oh, I like that.
You know, you need your Nick Fury of the team. You need your Nick Fury. I don't know who he would be for Justice League. I don't know. I guess that's kind of Batman, but
it would be Batman. Yeah, I like the call. Gato.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with Gato though as kind of the Captain Kirk of my ship.
The captain. I appreciate that. Nicely done.
There you go.
So we're back to me. So now we're back to Justice League, and I'm sorry. Yeah, Justice League.
Yeah, Justice League.
And let me think about this for a second. I'm gonna go the same route. I need my Flash. I need someone who is quick and a legend. So
and not on cocaine.
And not on cocaine. Well, I can't. We're talking about old pro wrestlers, so I can't really count anybody. In fact, I'll steer straight into the cocaine thing and say Randy Savage.
I love that.
Okay.
Yes.
Ugh.
I like that.
All right, let's wrap this up. Our last picks, and I think we're all on Avengers.
Yes.
Okay, our last picks. Oz, we can let's go ahead and wrap this bad boy up. Who's your last?
Okay,
Avenger?
let's just go. Let's just go out with the Undertaker.
That's a good pick. I can't believe I haven't picked him yet, to be honest with you. So for my Avengers team, yeah, I'm still here. I need a little spunk on my team. I also need a brother on my team. I need some color on my team. Give me Booker T.
I knew you were going to say Booker T.
Give me my man Booker T.
Give me Coco Beware.
Nah, don't pick Coco. You don't want Coco on that team. JD, you got your last Avengers pick.
I need my last Avenger. I want another female. I want, like you said, a little bit of spunk, a little bit of fire, a little creativity. I'm going to pick a WWE roster member, which might shock you. I'm going to choose the former Kana, currently known as Asuka.
I love it. I love it.
She's great.
She's fantastic.
No one picked what's her face Mandalorian.
I did.
Sasha.
Yeah, I did. That was my first woman.
Okay, cool.
See, that's and you know that's what I'm talking about right there. That's the crossover appeal right there. Like people may not know her name, but they will know her face. That's the crossover appeal right there. If she could stay off
of Twitter, she'd be great.
No, that's a problem with wrestling people.
She should stay off of social media.
Most of them should.
Yeah, that's a new generational wrestling thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't storm the Capitol and shut up on Twitter.
Yeah. So Oz, you know, for me personally, you get a Morgan Freeman for hanging in that conversation as well as you did.
You know, that was for my boy Phil.
Yeah. I just knew me and JD were going to put Baby in the corner.
As my dear spiritual mentor once said, people counted me out. They should have counted me in.
Okay.
Ludicrous.
Luda. That's your spiritual mentor. Now let me ask you, which Ludacris are we talking? Are we talking the up and coming hungry sexual rapping Ludacris who was talking about having sex in libraries and the chocolate dripping off of the women's body, or the sophisticated and grown man Fast and Furious Luda?
No, we're talking about Ludacris who got a lot of money in his bank.
Okay, so the Fast and Furious Luda.
He hungry. He is well fed. That dude has turtle soup every day.
He might. That might not be a lie. All right, so we're gonna wrap this conversation up by I will 100% give credit to JVD of the Villains Demand. I'm gonna steal your idea and utilize it for the show. I think it fits perfectly with Mortal Kombat coming out. We're going to create our own 8-man Mortal Kombat between the three of us. I feel like we can come up with a solid 8-man roster and the two bosses, your mini boss and your main boss. So, guys, you know, Mortal Kombat came out. Before we start, have you seen the new movie yet?
Yes.
You said no, JD?
No, I haven't had a chance yet.
Okay.
It's been a busy week.
Well, just a little preview. Next week we will have Movie Man Miggs on, and we will be talking all about Mortal Kombat. We'll probably even talk about the old movie, so catch up on the old one, watch the new one, and come back next week for the review with Movie Man Miggs and both of us. So
I can't wait.
Yeah, it should be
Mortal Kombat 1, also featuring Highlander's Christopher Lambert, this time playing an Asian.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So this dude just plays any race they need him to.
But he can't get rid of his French accent.
So when the Highlander, when you chop someone's head off, you get the quickening, which is a big burst of lightning. He also played a lightning god, so it's okay.
I guess it fit. That guy got typecast. He didn't even realize it. So, okay. And, it's to be a very interesting review of Mortal Kombat. I will say this. We might have Jax might be added to the ranking scale instead of Guardian. Let's put it that way.
I will say he had his moments.
Yeah, he was whack. All right.
Did you watch the movie?
Yeah, I watched the movie. I'm for it. All right. We'll save it for next week.
Hold on. Without giving him a spoiler alert, you would say he was a much better Jax than he is a Jimmy Olsen, wouldn't you?
Well, I mean, that's like saying he's taller than Hornswoggle. But, there's that. Hornswoggle's a short wrestler, by the way, Oz.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Person, I believe is the term.
I didn't know what the term was, so I just said a short wrestler because I didn't know what the term was.
Well, Daniel Bryan's a short wrestler. I believe Hornswoggle's like 4'10", like 4'6" or something like that.
He's sort of like the Spud Webb of wrestling.
No, he's a legit. You can't say the M word anymore.
Yeah.
I think little person is the term you would use.
He's dwarf size.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Good wrestler for his size, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, real good wrestler for his size. So let's fill out our bracket.
Why does he have to be a good wrestler for his size? Why can't he just be a good wrestler?
You can't really have matches.
Yeah, it's hard to have. Yeah, when he has guys his size, like he had a WLC match. That was a really good match with him and El Torito.
Shockingly was.
Yeah, really that was really a lot of fun. All right.
So where are we getting our guys from? Who are we drafting?
We can draft from anywhere, any universe. So you can pick from anywhere, and we'll just pick the 8 that we think would make a strong tournament, and it can be from any type of genre, TV, movie, books, video games, absolutely anywhere.
Got it. Okay, I got an idea.
Okay. Go ahead. What you got?
Oh, we're talking about Highlander, Duncan MacLeod.
I think that'd be great.
That's a good start. And obviously we're allowing weapons, so he gets his sword.
Gets his sword.
The only way you beat him is cutting his head off, and you can only do that if you're a Highlander. So I have a hard time seeing him losing.
Okay. I'm actually going to stick with the sword fighting because I like the sword element. I'm going to go with she probably won't be able to beat him because, like you said, she's not a Highlander, but I think she could definitely chop him up some. I'm going with Beatrix, the bride from Kill Bill.
Ooh, that's a good call. I like that.
I'm going to go with the Resurrection Man.
Resurrection Man?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's a deep cut.
Yeah, that's who you bring into the tournament, huh?
So Resurrection Man is a character from DC where he fights. His immortal enemy is actually Vandal Savage, and his ability is that once you kill him, he figures out how he died, and you can never kill him that same way again. Think Darwin from Marvel.
That's a pretty sweet ability.
Hey, remember when you had a character that can't die, and then Marvel went ahead and killed him in a movie?
Yeah, don't you love that? and they killed him in the dumbest way possible too.
He had a real opportunity to do something different, and they just went ahead and went with the stereotype.
Hey everybody! I got this great idea. We're gonna have a black character be a mutant who has this ability to
can't die,
who can adapt to anything except for that.
Except for the one way we chose to kill him, because the stereotype
with Kevin Bacon of all people
playing a legit racist,
like with Kevin Bacon of all people. Like, we had to have this guy shoving it down his throat.
It was a choice.
It was a choice.
It was a choice.
7 degrees of Kevin Bacon.
That was definitely a choice. All right. Okay, so we got 3 so far. JD, who's your next fighter?
I'm going to stay in the DC universe. I'm going to go with Swamp Thing.
Okay. How do you think his powers would carry over to the other realm?
Because he can control vegetation, he can move his consciousness from one place to another, and he can misshape his body. So he'd wrap people up in vines and break bones.
Has he been a character on a game, or was he just an Injustice?
I have no idea. I'm not a big video game guy, so I don't know. It's my dirty secret.
No,
you don't have any time.
I'm not a big gamer either. I do like the Injustice games. I haven't played Mortal Kombat in it might be over a decade. So
yeah, for me, it's over 2 decades. Like, yeah.
Hey, Regular Scott, did you finish Arkham Knights?
I finished the story. I didn't finish everything. I haven't 100% finished. Like, I haven't found all Riddler's clues and all that, but I finished the story.
Have you been playing Halo from Halo 1 to current Halo?
I played the first one and the second one. Lately, I have been on Fallout 4. Been on that real heavy. And I've been playing MLB The Show 21.
But not much of a gamer.
Yeah, so that's what I've been playing.
Not much of a gamer.
No. I mean, I play a game every now and then. I get, after the kid goes to bed, I got a couple hours of myself. I'll throw the game on.
I have one game.
What's that?
Zelda.
Yeah, you've been on Zeldas for years now.
Yeah.
Okay. JD, did you give your pick? I'm sorry. I got distracted.
Yes, I chose Swamp Thing.
That's right, Swamp Thing, because he can...
Come on, focus.
Yeah,
focus.
You're right. I got distracted because you distracted me. Who's your next pick?
Man, something good. I feel like I would like to put in... I don't know, man. I'm a big Arrow person. I would put in like a Hawkeye. Or no, I put in Green Arrow because he has a bag of trick arrows just to mix it up.
Okay. I'm going to counter your Arrow guy with my Arrow guy. I'm going with Legolas.
See, it'd be nice to have an Arrow person in there. That's good.
Yeah, I like Legolas. So that's 6. Oz and JD, I'll let you two wrap up the combatants. JD, who's your final combatant for this Mortal Kombat tournament?
My final combatant for this Mortal Kombat tournament. I want to kind of reach outside a little bit and do...
Round 2, fight.
Yeah, something a little bit different. I think I'm going to choose Valiant Comics, The Eternal Warrior.
Okay.
Obscure.
Very.
But that's literally his job. Is he fights war. He fights battles for eternity.
I was about to ask you for a quick little summary of his bio, but I think you might have just gave it.
No, he's great, and I was going to raise you one, JD, and say Man of War.
Oh, X-Men of War. Good call. I like that. It's basically Iron Man and the Barbarian.
Yeah. Hey, imagine Conan with the Iron Man suit.
Yeah. That's Exo. Exo's a cool character.
So now we need our bosses. We're all 3 of us will have to come to an agreement, or at least a 2 out of 3 agreement on who we think our bosses should be. Let's start with our mini boss. Who's our first boss?
You got the person you got to get to the big boss.
Who's the number 2? Who's the number 2? Do we go with an Omni-Man for number 2 and save like a Dr. Manhattan for your main boss? Do we go with Omni-Man as your main boss and maybe Homelander as your warm-up? Where are we going with that?
So I think the first thing to think is who will win a fight between Omni-Man and Homelander?
Omni-Man.
Homelander's got eye blast. Omni-Man doesn't have any eye blast.
Yeah, but I can't see, just from what I've seen in the cartoon, because I haven't read the comic, but Omni-Man seems like he would demolish Homelander.
Are you sure?
Omni-Man is Superman, but, not. So I'm going to go, I like the Omni-Man call.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I still feel like, especially with Homelander's child, too. Like, I feel like Homelander's child is going to be like invincible. is going to be like on that level. Yeah, I don't know. I would do Apollo.
What about Sentry or the Void?
See, because you have Sentry, you also have the Void.
Mm-hmm.
So you beat Sentry, and now you got to deal with Void.
That's the main boss right there.
That's a classic main boss thing.
Yeah, that's a classic main boss.
You think it's done.
Yeah, that's definitely if you get all the bonuses, you get to fight the main boss and unlock the unlockable skins.
So the Valkyras are escorting Sentry to Valhalla. He died. Is that the latest thing? I didn't even know this happened.
I don't know.
Yeah. I was reading. I was like, wait, I need to catch up on comics a lot.
Yeah, you do. You're supposed to be the comic connoisseur. We look to you every week to provide the knowledge for us to go forward as comic nerds. And if you don't have the knowledge to give, how can we get the knowledge to take forward?
Yeah.
Well, see, the thing is, knowledge is not something to be given. You know, I can lead you to the water, but I cannot make you drink. Yeah.
You could at least pour it in a glass for us.
I can lead you to the issue, but I cannot make you read it.
That's true. You can flip the pages, though.
I can flip the pages.
All right. So I guess we're gonna go. I think Century Void is a good final boss. Omni-Man is a great warm-up boss because if you get by him, then you got to deal with Century, then the Void. It's a hell of a combat right there.
Who wins in a fight between Omni-Man and Superman?
Superman.
Okay.
I'm gonna agree with you guys just because I don't know enough about Omni-Man yet, so I don't know the extent of his powers. He seems like he's just like he's having a. I don't even think he was trying in the fight that he had with the rest of his people. I feel like that was all for show, but we'll see.
Regular Scott, when you read the comics, your brain is going to be like twerked.
They're really good, man. The first like probably decade of Invincible is just really good comics, man. It's a great run. I think you'd like it a lot.
Once this season 1 ends, well, actually, it's already over. But once I watch the last episode of Invincible, I have volume 1 of the comic, so I'll start that once I finish that last episode, which I'm very excited about.
It takes a little while, like that reveal at the end of episode 1. It takes a few issues to get there.
Okay,
right? It feels very wholesome until it doesn't.
It's kind of the vibe you got with the TV show, too. It felt like the show was going to go one way, and then it just turns it on its head.
Yeah, they make you be a little more patient for it in the comic, though, which is bold. I don't think they do that today. I think that end of episode 1 would be the end you have in issue 1, right? But they make you wait, God, I want to think like 6 issues to get that in the comic. But
I'm sure that probably helped, though, because they probably helped, build the characters and get you invested in them.
It did. Like you think you understand this father-son dynamic, and then he kills everyone.
Yeah, and also like in Marcus, like it builds up to Mark just going, oh, this kid is just waiting his turn, and you don't even know if he's going to have his turn, and it's like, oh shoot, that trash bag just flies out in the outer space. You're like, oh crap, it's cool. It's a good, really good run to me.
It is. It's one of the few times in comics you get it basically uninterrupted, like one writer, one artist. Like they switch artists, but it's like issue like 6. So for the overwhelming majority of the Invincible run, it's the same team.
Which is the same thing they did with freaking Walking Dead.
Yeah, that's Robert Kirkman, man.
Yeah.
That's why he owns everything now.
Yeah.
There you go. Well, guys, this was we did it. This was a lot of fun. A great show. I think we knocked out a lot of topics. We answered some good listener questions, and Oz, hopefully, I
stayed in the game.
You stayed in the game. Hey, man, I can't. I don't have enough good things to say about you today.
JD, this is not a participation award from me. I was in there.
You were, man.
I was in there.
You not only did you fight the good fight, you stepped up to the battle.
Yeah,
I feel like if I was on JD's like wrestling team, he'd be like, you know what, Oz, you've come a long way.
Yeah, it's impressive. You'd be, you'd be a JV spot starter for right now, but it looks good. Looks good for the future.
Yeah, I'd be like, I'm ready to go in, coach. And you'd be like, wait, hold on.
Whoa.
But you can still hold up, sir. Hold on.
It's good. Like we're a high caliber team. So you can do some JV stuff over there. We're all proud of you.
Hey, at least you made a squad this time.
Hey, and I just have to ask. This is a show in honor of JD, but I just have to ask. I believe I did train my mind and my body for this show.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
You're I will admit you're definitely in the running for most improved award this year. You're definitely in the running for most improved. I don't think you'll get coach's award, but you might get most improved.
Hey, there's no more honorable mention. There's no more honorable mention. This is most improved. Okay.
Yeah. So, you made the JV team. You might walk away with a trophy. I think you did pretty good tonight. It's a good day's work.
That boy done made it to the flag squad.
Hey, you know what, man? You just caused yourself to get a Morgan Freeman on yourself.
Shoot this motherfucker!
All right, JD. Again, man, it's always a pleasure talking with you. It's always a blast, just chopping it up, man. We appreciate you coming on. Again, plug your Kickstarter. Tell everyone where they can find you. The man of many hats, JD Oliva.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me on. I always love coming on here. I always have a good time. Scott, we've done a million shows like just different things over the last few years, and you're a good friend. And I love talking with you. I love talking with Uncle Oz. This is the best. Best place to find me, Twitter, at JD_Oliva. That's OLIVA. I co-host Superhero Speak podcast, which it's like your guys, but not nearly as cool. I do a lot of writing for Fight Game Media, a lot of wrestling stuff. You want to follow me over there. I kind of toned down the movie reviews with Combat Republic right now because we got our Impact Wrestling show. That's become the focus. I got the Kickstarter for Sundown, the Books of Jericho, Volume 1. That's the big thing right now. We're trying to hit that 3. It's that the goal has been met, but this is more of a personal goal. I want to exceed my best campaign. So I'm trying to hit $3,000 in 2 weeks. You will be able to buy so many books. You're going to get so many for free. I'm giving away 3 short stories for free just for contributing. So you're going to get a lot of content. I'm very proud of these stories. I think they're a lot of fun. I think they're a little bit different. It's not the traditional, urban fantasy stuff. It's a little bit more gritty, a little bit more violent. And I think the storytelling is really good. I'm proud of these books, man. So if you can jump on the Kickstarter, click on Sundown and check it out. I don't think I said if you're sketchy, I got $1. You can buy the first book in the series and make your mind up after that.
There you go.
That sounds like a great deal. It's a straight win-win.
I think so. Oh, thank you guys for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Oh, you already know, man. Oz, what you got for your final blow?
Man, I've been watching Solar Opposites, which is I think it's on Hulu. It's just been a great little kind of fun little spin. If you're into animation on some Rick and Morty stuff, that's good. I finished Talking to the Winter Soldier. Really enjoyed that. Invincible's been a great ride. Debris has been super enjoyable. I've just been having a good time, man. I think it's a great time for nerds. Loving it.
Yeah, no doubt. Again, JD, it's always a pleasure to have you on. And make sure you check out myself and JD over at the Vover app. Make sure you can check that out they have podcasts now, Apple Podcasts. So check that out, the Pop Culture Corner. I will also be having another show over there called Regular Thoughts with Regular Scott. That will be coming out on Tuesdays over there on the Vover feed. I had Uncle Oz on for the first episode. I'm going to have JD on for the next episode. And the plan is to have a different guest on every week for that show. And we'll probably have Uncle Oz on a little bit more frequently since he's the co-host. But the plan is to do that. And I have to give a big shout out to JD for that because he was the guy who really put me on with the Vover thing. So, again, I appreciate that. Find us on Twitter at Need4MarvelVsDC. That's the number 4. Email us Need4MarvelVsDC at GoDefyLife.com. Download our podcast anywhere you get your podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spreaker, Radio Public, TuneIn, Spotify, all those places. Like, subscribe, leave us a 5-star review. Alice, tell everyone you talk to them next time. Well, I guess Phil already did, didn't he?
I love it. Feels like, by the way, I'm going to be co-hosting the show next week. As usual, everybody, peace and chicken grease.
Hey, y'all have a good time, because we're going to have a good time until we talk to y'all next time. Peace.
King of diamonds, that's me, nigga. You bitches can't hit my beat. Choppers only think free, nigga.
You know, what you doing on a Sunday?